Plaintiff Annette Reed says the defendant is her sister, and 6 years ago she started smoking marijuana. Annette claims the defendant's drug use eventually led her to use pills and heroin, and she even stole narcotics from Annette's dying husband to get high. Annette's suing her sister today for an unpaid insurance claim. Defendant Melanie Frank admits that she was a self-centered heroin user who didn't care about anyone else when she was under the influence. However, once Melanie discovered the pain she was causing her 2 children, she decided to enter treatment, where she's been for 4 months.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Prove case.
Okay, Melanie's my younger sister. She has lived with me off and on for years, me and my deceased husband. And approximately 6 years ago, she developed a drug problem. It started out as marijuana, and eventually it led to other things. And
like
it got,
what?
She basically went for narcotics, pain pills, painkillers.
You want to respond to that? Maybe she had an accident or something, and it began as legitimate use, and later.
No, she's right.
Okay, it didn't start legitimately either?
It began with experimenting with marijuana, drinking, and...
What type of prescription drug?
It started with
Vicodin? Vicodin, Percocet,
and then
Oxycontin?
Percocet, Oxycontin,
Didn't
methadone,
get to heroin, did you? Or methanol?
And then
heroin?
Then the heroin, yes.
That's the progression. How old were you when you started smoking marijuana?
Actually, I was 19.
Based on my years of observation, and both as a judge and as a street kid myself who've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of people who become drug addicted, usually when you start off very young at marijuana, then you progress to the heavier drugs. That's why they don't want minors to drink alcohol. They don't have the adult sense of non-abuse.
The alcohol came first.
Okay, and see, that's why children should not drink underage. Those are the purposes for these laws. These young people say, if I can drink when I'm 21, why can't I drink when I'm 17? Because there's a reason. Young people's minds have not developed enough to be able to have the good judgment on the use of intoxicants of any type. So did you give her a little tough love, or what happened? Were you victimized with all this drug use? Because that's usually the case.
She victimized the whole family and everybody that cared about her. It was all about the drugs. It didn't matter who she stole from, who she hurt, who she destroyed.
Did she get
treated? And it's very hard to watch your family member do that to themselves.
Yep, very hard.
I'm in treatment right now.
Good. How long have you been in treatment?
4 months.
This your first time?
This is my second time. The first time I was court ordered, so I didn't want it. This I chose. I have a good system. I have counseling and a group and a doctor that I have to go see, and
There's extensive treatment you need for that.
Yes.
That's heavy addiction.
Yes, I admit I was self-centered.
Okay.
I didn't care about anybody else. My 9-year-old and I have a 9-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter, and you think they're blind, but they're not. And that's what made me realize I had to get help.
Well, you've taken the first step, and so it's going to be tough, I'm sure. I don't have to tell you. Good to hear you're on the right track. However, this probably occurred, what she's suing you for, during your addiction.
That's
and
correct.
The problem is that even though you are in recovery now and hopefully will be totally rehabilitated, you have to pay for the things you've done in the past. One of the things that concerns me most about recovering addicts is that somehow they become the victim. It's like, oh, you're not supporting me, you're not standing with me, you won't help me. Well, I'll help you, I'll stand with you, but I want my money. I want you to clean up this damage you've done to me. you're not a victim, I'm still the victim. So we want to make sure that folks understand that too. Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me what happened in this case during her drug use that caused you to sue her today.
Okay, in 2006, my husband of 20 years was diagnosed with, he had cancer and it was terminal. So he was in and out of the hospital, and Melanie and I have always been close. I try to shun her with her addiction. I try to help her. There's just to a point where you can't do anything. She was to the point stealing, and it didn't matter. She was like a tornado. Anything in her way, it's going to be destroyed to get to that drug.
Go ahead.
Well, my husband was in the hospital. We had a motel room nearby to take breaks, and she had come, it was out of town, to be like my support person. And I knew of her addiction, and I had 2 bags, they were identical. I messed up, grabbed the wrong bag, because I left for the hospital.
No.
I had my husband's medications in there, I'm sorry.
Okay. Excuse me.
Got ahead of myself.
All right. I was going to say, no wonder she getting high. You supplying her. Go ahead.
No.
All right.
But anyway, I got a break, and I went over to the motel, and I walk in to find her barely breathing, turning blue. I had to call 911. I rode with her to the hospital, the same hospital that my husband was in. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
Okay, I ride with her to the hospital. They had to revive her. And then I get news that my husband had worsened, and they moved him to ICU. So for 2 days, I'm going from
Two of the
floor
closest
to
people in your life on the edge of death.
Exactly.
As tough as it gets.
My husband passed away in 2006.
Around that time?
Yes.
She was revived, thank goodness.
Yes, she was only in for a couple days, thank goodness.
Then
but
went
they
back to using drugs again, obviously.
Yes, she did.
What had happened? She had overdosed on one of the drugs, obviously, that
Right.
she was using, and would have died but for you coming in there.
Right.
Go ahead.
And then I had to be questioned by the police on top of all this as to how she got the medication. I mean, doing their job. Melanie and her children had moved in with me. She needed a place to stay. The kids, needed a place to stay. And this was approximately 4 to 5 weeks after my husband's death. She was aware that my insurance had run out. With the funeral and everything, things slide. And so I woke up that morning, and her children were looking for her. And I looked, and I discovered that my keys were gone off my dresser. Then I discovered that my vehicle was gone. Well, just so happens within that few minutes of time, I get a phone call from Melissa. Can I let you tell
Sure,
her?
come on up. State your name.
My name's Melissa Reed. I am Annette's deceased husband's cousin's our relation. Melanie, I suppose a little after 8 in the morning, had showed up, and she's just blaring on the horn outside. I go outside, and I was like, what have you done? And she was like, Annette's gonna kill me. Annette's gonna kill me. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, what did you do? And the whole fender of the vehicle is missing. And she's like, at first she told me she hit a mailbox. And I'm like, Mel, there's no way you could have hit a mailbox.
What did you ultimately find out?
She was high. She was on something at that point. Ultimately, she admitted that she hit a vehicle. She'd went to her old residence, and she did hit a vehicle. I don't know how.
Okay. And you say that you didn't have insurance, so obviously you were sued by the victim's insurance company.
Correct.
And that's why you're suing her to pay for what you've been sued for. What do you want to tell me about the accident, if anything, and why you shouldn't pay?
I ran errands for Annette quite often, using the van, using the car. I drove to Columbus. I've drove, quite a few places for Annette, using each one of their vehicles. Now, the insurance, I showed proof of insurance at the accident, but the proof of insurance that was in the van was for the Ford Ranger.
Were you negligent, ma'am?
Was I cited?
No. Did you do something wrong to cause the car to be damaged?
Yes, I hit another vehicle.
That's negligence.
Yes.
And you were about to tell me about something else, about some insurance?
I thought there was insurance on the van.
All right. And
because I had been driving the vehicles.
So what difference do you think that makes? If you were in the wrong, what difference does it make whether she had insurance or not? Because had you not wrecked the car, she could not have insurance and still have her car.
Okay, well then nothing.
She could get a ticket for no insurance, what, $100? A lot cheaper than $4 grand. So her having insurance has no relevance, and a lot of people think it does. They think that when you harm someone's property, if they should have or did have insurance, that they shouldn't have to owe. No, that's not the case. Someone is always going to lose when property is damaged. When all the layers of insurance and who should have had what and insurance paid you, somebody owes for that money that was put out. And ultimately it's going to be the person who caused the damage. And ma'am, you're liable for it. You obviously have a misunderstanding, like many people, about insurance requirements. $4,186 is your judgment. Have a good day. Continued success to you.
Thank you.
I hope your rehab helps this time. It destroys too many. Definitely. I love you. You know that.